Wake Up Before It's Too Late, a life-changing story about laziness and hard work. Ryan was a smart boy, full of dreams, but also full of excuses. Every time someone asked him to study, to exercise, or to do something meaningful, he would always say, "I'll start tomorrow." He believed life was long, time was plenty, and success would somehow find him. Days passed. Weeks turned into months. His notebooks remained empty, his ideas forgotten, and his goals stayed only in his head. His father often said, "Son, life doesn't wait for lazy people." But Ryan would laugh and reply, "Dad, relax. I'll do something great one day." Years later, when Ryan finished school, reality hit him hard. All his friends had moved ahead. Some had jobs, some were in universities, and others were learning new skills. But Ryan had nothing, no plan, no money, no direction. One evening, he stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "Why am I still stuck?" And somewhere deep inside, a voice answered, "Because you never started." Still, he ignored it. He kept scrolling through his phone, wasting hours, convincing himself that one day he would work hard. But that day never came. One morning, his father came home exhausted, his hands rough from years of labor. He sat beside Ryan and said, "Son, I'm getting old. I've worked hard all my life, but I can't carry this burden forever. I need you to stand up now." Ryan looked down, ashamed. He had done nothing to make his father proud. That night, he couldn't sleep. His father's words echoed in his ears. He thought about his wasted years, his broken promises, and his endless excuses. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "Tomorrow never comes. I have to start now." The next morning, before sunrise, Ryan woke up. For the first time, he didn't reach for his phone. He made a plan, a real one. He started small, working at a local workshop for a small salary. His hands, once soft from comfort, became rough and bruised. He learned to fix engines, to lift weight, to wake up early, to sleep late. He failed many times, broke tools, made mistakes, got scolded by his boss, and even thought about quitting. But every time he felt weak, he remembered his father's tired eyes. When others rested, he practiced. When others complained, he learned. When others laughed at his slow progress, he stayed silent and worked harder. Time moved on. Months became years. Slowly, Ryan became one of the best workers in the workshop. His boss promoted him to supervisor. He started saving money, reading books about business, and improving his communication skills. But he didn't stop there. He wanted more. He joined night classes, learned new techniques, and started repairing motorbikes at home. Gradually, people began to trust his skills. Customers started coming directly to him. One day, his boss said, "Ryan, you've changed. I remember when you were lazy and lost. What happened?" Ryan smiled and replied, "I just stopped waiting for tomorrow." A few years later, Ryan opened his own garage, a small place at first, but built with honesty, sweat, and hard work. He hired workers, trained them, and gave them the same advice his father once gave him. Life doesn't wait for lazy people. Years passed. His business grew, and his father, now old and weak, sat in a chair at the garage entrance, smiling proudly as he watched customers come and go. One evening, Ryan sat beside him and said, "Dad, remember when you told me life doesn't wait for lazy people?" His father smiled and said softly, "I remember, son, and I see now that you listened." Ryan looked at the sunset and said, "It took me too long to wake up, but I'm awake now." Laziness had once stolen years from his life, but hard work gave him everything back: respect, peace, and success. Sparkle's moral of the story: laziness destroys quietly. Hard work builds slowly but surely. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now, even if you fail, because one day, your tomorrow, will be too late.